Hello and welcome back to Mexico News Network's Daily News, broadcasting from El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus for more news, and log on to our website www.mexiconewsnetwork.com. And now let's continue with information. Our typical candies are a vivid example of the ingenious and creative minds of Mexican people, and they come in all colors and flavors and from different origins. They do have one thing in common though: they are all 100% pure Mexican essence. Like in many other aspects, Mexico's culture is product of the mixed races between Spaniards and natives, and it is completely represented in these delicious confections. Their origin dates back to times before the conquest, and with the arrival of new ingredients and techniques to our land. These are taken and combined with native ones, therefore, to create a fusion of flavors, aromas, and textures, and more. Whenever you find a candy man, which is a person usually selling sweet treats on a wooden board, a basket, or some sort of box, ask them to sell you something delicious and let him or her give you a few suggestions. Alegrías are small bars or round-shaped delights made from amaranth with honey or piloncillo syrup. Piloncillo is a dried syrup from sugar cane. Sometimes you may also find choco amaranth bars or round-shaped delights of amaranth mixed with chocolate. This is a great option if you are walking around the city and need an energy booster. The popular palanquetas. These are thin bars of several nuts and grains such as peanuts, pumpkin seeds, pecans, sesame seeds, and a mix of these and sometimes also dried fruit. These ingredients are mixed with homemade caramel and spread over a tray to let the mixture set before cutting into different shapes. Garapiñados are sweetened nuts, a variation in the elaboration process from palanquetas, but basically the same ingredients. Sweets made from milk base are also very popular. These most sought-of ones are called glorias, originally from Nuevo León. These are creamy soft confections. They have a similar texture to a more consistent creamy peanut butter or a very thick toffee. They are somewhat chewy and have small pecan bits. Sweets are an essential part of the Mexican culture, and you can savor any of these and many other treats in every corner of Mexico. Due to its antiqueness, chocolate's history is quite extant, but we can simplify it by explaining the most important details. In the Maya and Aztec cultures, cocoa was valued as a currency for goods exchange and also considered as a sacred fruit reserved only for the highest commands as well as for the deities. With it, they prepared a beverage called xocoatl that also included cinnamon and vanilla. This beverage was handed to Hernán Cortés upon his arrival, and that's where it began to spread out the love for the chocolate all around the world. The Spaniards brought back to Europe this valuable fruit that keeps the cocoa beans inside, and when they are dried and roasted, the characteristic chocolate smell is released. After leaving America, cocoa traveled from Spain to Italy, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, Belgium, and England, where every one of these countries adopted this marvelous ingredient for their chocolate preparations. Being an expensive ingredient, the cocoa was only consumed by nobles and elevated purchase power. It is up to the beginning of the 20th century that the price for the cocoa and sugar dropped considerably, opening the door of the opportunity for common people to be able to purchase a chocolate. Chocolate's elaboration process has been perfected thanks to the chocolatiers from all around Europe, with techniques and ingredients that have provided the chocolate with this silkiness we all know and enjoy. They have given the world different varieties, finishes, flavors, and textures of chocolate. Nowadays in Mexico, we have taken up some native ingredients to prepare an amazing selection of chocolates that go from the delicious milk chocolate to combinations that include hibiscus flower, tamarind, coffee, soursop, mezcal, tequila, among others. We have the pleasure to have chocolatiers who make a great number of desserts and chocolates that can be compared to the European chocolates. They have developed creative versions of gourmet dishes or traditional Mexican candies gathered in a small chocolatey bite. Dare to try something different and exclusive of our country. Now I will talk to you about one of the sweet samples of Mexican cuisine, the one that stands out the most. This is because it's made with an ingredient which is part of our ancestral food, maize. We are speaking of cornbread, one of the all-time favorite desserts of Mexican cuisine. Traditionally accompanied with a cup of coffee, hot chocolate, or a glass of milk, this dish is exquisite and an all-time favorite of many generations throughout the Mexican Republic. Its origin is uncertain for many, as there are recipes that include ingredients such as cheese, butter, and refined sugar, which are products from a colonial era, turning it into a dessert from that time in particular. However, the most traditional recipes are made based only in maize. It is said that this tradition comes from the Mexica Indians from the beginning of the cultivation of corn, who took the baby corn and cooked it after kneading in the form of a huge bread, subsequently tasted by the whole family. Besides your favorite drink, our recommendation would be coffee. Cornbread can be accompanied with berries, marinated citrus zest, raisins, slivered almonds, strawberry coulis, powdered sugar, whipped cream, or eggnog, either mixing or incorporating them by serving it next to your slice. And Mexico's cuisine is a focus of research and study for many, even by the National Institute of Anthropology and History. The reason behind this is because it consists of artisanal and exquisite fusion of ingredients which have been adapted through time, dating back to pre-Hispanic times. This has made Mexico's gastronomy an intangible heritage for humanity. Specifically speaking of a marvelous state in the nation located in the southeast of Mexico, Veracruz, there is a lot to be said. Typical and traditional gastronomy from Veracruz is a marvelous blend of scents and flavors, which are the direct reflection of its flora and fauna. They are also the product of a mixture of cultures from indigenous with some African roots and the Spaniards. For example, in the Sotavento area, this fusion is kept alive and it can be seen in traditional recipes and dishes consumed today, like the stone tamal, beans with fried banana, or turtle mouse style. He also mentioned that in the south of Veracruz, one can find a very different kind of cuisine. This is because the Popoluca civilization from the Soteapan mountain range would base their daily food intake on resources found in the jungle, while the Nahuas from the Papajan region elaborated dishes from fruits of the ocean, rivers, and coasts. The region of the Tuxtlas Chacalapan in San Juan Evangelista, there is a vast African and crossbreed influence with Zapoteca, which certainly distinguishes them from the rest of the area. Some of the dishes that we can enjoy today deriving from the region's ancestral lifestyles are the mogo mogo, which is a mashed up banana with cheese feta on top or pork skin, beans with blue crab, and cowboy mole, which is a dish from the Chacalapan region with African roots made with smoked beef. As you can see, Veracruz is an entire experience on its own. Discover and enjoy it. Well, this is all for today. Thanks for watching us broadcasting from El Dorado Rojales Spa Resort by Charisma. I am your host, Sofia Rattinger, and do not forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to www.mexiconewsnetwork.com for more relevant information about Mexico and the world. We'll see you the next time.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.